Stand by, camera speed.
Gary, take one, Mark.
As a kid in elementary school, I didn't even really think about one day what happiness would be. You know, at some level, I was just super happy to be in America at that point. You know, I lived in a very immigrant kind of upbringing, the first couple years being in the US, in New York, in a pretty tough situation. So when I think about elementary school, or 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, it's just such a happy time. I was so happy that I wasn't really even thinking about, happiness in the future. I was grateful already at that young of an age. My dad was working every minute. I already had to kind of be the man of the household with a younger sister. And so, I didn't, very frank, to keep it as authentic as humanly possible, it was not something that ever even crossed my mind. The four walls inside my home in my childhood was a different land than what was outside. Different foods, different cultures, different language. And we spoke an enormous amount of Russian in my household, especially in that first decade that we were here. My upbringing was totally different than my siblings, being the first, being the only one from the old country. It was different. Not only that, I was a boy and my dad worked every minute. And my mom was a youngster. My mom was in her early and mid-20s raising me. It wasn't tough, but it was intriguing to me, almost confusing, that being such a poor student led to so many assumptions about who I was and what I was capable of. And I think it was super important for me to be so competitive early on and to struggle with defeat, because, that's a process of maturity that you need to go through. So there was a maturity, a sense of responsibility, a pressure to kind of deliver on this great gift of opportunity. And so that's how it went. It's really interesting. One of the biggest turning points in my life was a random flight back from wine country, picking up a Business 2.0 magazine, which is not around anymore. And it was an article about fish.com and dog.com and house.com and these people that were squatting names and flipping them for tens of millions of dollars. I don't know what it was about that magazine, but this is actually a true story. I wish AJ was here. I landed, I called my brother, he picked up, and I said, I'm gonna change your life. It was a huge risk in the fact that I was changing complete course of what I've done for the last 20 years. I was leaving behind my baby. I had no money. The wine library, VaynerMedia started in somebody else's conference room because we had no money for rent. So it was a ton of risk by normal standards when somebody reads it on paper, but not necessarily for me. It just felt like progression. Look, everybody goes through a moment in their life where everything you thought up to that second vanishes, and you realize that there's an opportunity to change the story that you've written in your head for the last 2-3 decades. And I think it's universal. I think there are very few people who don't get to a point at year 20, 30, 35 that don't start debating, wait a minute, is this what I want? Is this where I'm going? Is this how it's playing out? And, to me, that is one of the most important moments in one's life, and this is why I care so much about perspective. Many people look at it as a moment to start to get upset and say, wait a minute, this is not what I signed up for. And others, regardless of what's happened, use it as an opportunity to write the next chapter. And that is a choice based on what you're consuming and who you're listening to and what's around you that I think about a lot.